Tonight on CTV News, powerful lightning strikes Christchurch. We've got the amazing images. The campaign to save the Cathedral returns again. And what should become of the red zone?
Broadcasting across Canterbury. From the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, this is CTV News. I'm Chris Lynch. Powerful lightning in Christchurch this afternoon managed to split a tree completely in half on the grounds of Princess Margaret Hospital. A Canterbury District Health spokeswoman says a worker close by saw the entire incident and said it sounded like a massive explosion. The storm was short-lived and fine weather is expected in Christchurch tonight. We'll bring you the latest in your forecast just before the news ends tonight. Well, you could be forgiven for thinking the residential rebuild in this city is slow going, but the government is trumpeting its involvement when it comes to social housing at least. Emma Cropper has the story.
He's one of thousands whose home has been repaired following the earthquakes.
Well, the toilet was leaking, the bath wasn't right, and the doors weren't closing, and the cupboards and that needed punting.
But Manu Harris's Broomfield home is marking a special occasion. The repair of his home marks a halfway mark for Housing New Zealand. They've picked up the pace on fixing 5,000 quake-damaged state houses.
Well, I think it's really accelerated in the last few months. All these things, so much work goes into the planning and the organising and the financing and that sort of stuff, and you don't see anything for a long time, but it's really accelerating now, and I think it will be great to see everything finished by the end of 2015.
The agency is tasked with the job of repairing its damaged housing stock following the 2010 and 2011 earthquakes. Targeting the hardest hit suburbs, more than 800 repairs have already been completed in the eastern areas, including 400 homes in Aranui and 136 in Parklands.
And Christchurch is getting there.
It is getting there. I'm feeling really excited about this milestone, halfway there in the repair and upgrading. And
all looks positive for the outcome, doesn't it?
Housing New Zealand hopes to have completed 5,000 dwellings within 3 years, but has struggled to meet its first-year targets.
I think everything in life after an earthquake takes too long, The shaking went on for so many months, so many earthquakes, and things were really difficult, and I think the way that it's worked out, the fact that Housing New Zealand could get an overall insurance payout so that they didn't have to repair the houses that perhaps we didn't need anymore, they could rebuild those. I think we're in good shape, but it has taken time.
Nikki Wagner, the Associate Minister of the Earthquake Recovery, believes it's a case of good things taking time.
I think we're also getting our heads around that actually rushing into things is not necessarily the right way to do it, because we have got opportunities to upgrade, we've got opportunities to provide different types of housing far better suited to what the people of Christchurch need now and into the future.
But for residents like Harris, these repairs are not only improving the state of the home, but uplifting their day-to-day well-being.
Because you've got a nice place and all done up, you have to maintain that.
And you feel as if you've got the energy and the effort to look after it, don't you?
Yeah.
You feel good about yourself.
You do, yeah.
On top of repairing their 5,000 dwellings, Housing New Zealand is also planning to build 700 new homes in the city, creating more jobs for local contractors. More than 800 staff are working on the ground repairing the homes. It's expected that number will peak in 2015, with more than 1,000 contractors helping with repairs. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
The pressure is going on the Anglican Diocese to comment on the results of a survey suggesting a slim majority of Christchurch residents want the cathedral restored. Marcus Gibbs reports.
It's a debate that just isn't going away. The Christchurch Cathedral has stood empty since the earthquakes, fenced off, closed and partially demolished. The Anglican Diocese of Christchurch has deemed the building uneconomic to repair at a cost of more than $2 million. In their opinion, it's effectively a write-off. However, the Great Christchurch Building Trust is rejecting the church's stance, saying the building can be restored for $67 million. The Trust believes it has the support of Christchurch. A new Colmar Brunton survey commissioned by the Trust shows 51% of Christchurch residents believe a cathedral should be restored, versus 43% who prefer demolition.
We're not trying to be prescriptive, we simply want to help, but we do want the church to acknowledge Clearly this building is of enormous significance to the community.
The results of the survey were officially released during a media conference today. 66% believe the cathedral can be saved, while 77% of the people surveyed agree that Christchurch people should be able to have a say in what happens to the cathedral. 1,000 Christchurch residents were surveyed, which the Trust says represents the entire city. Now it wants to pursue its agenda for the cathedral to be restored.
We want to cooperate in every way we can with the church, with the ambition, of course, to achieve restoration.
But asked for an interview about the survey response, the diocese responded with, "We can see no reason to comment." The Trust wants to meet with the diocese to discuss the survey results. However, with the church brushing it off, that seems unlikely.
Well, I don't know what they mean by no point about commenting, because it is a Colmar-Brunton survey of complete and absolute independence and integrity. And I can't believe that they want to ignore what is clearly a very real reflection of community concern.
The Trust is committed to restoring the cathedral, stating that if the church moves in the direction of restoration, the funds will easily be raised from private backers.
I'm optimistic we will reach a resolution, and I would be surprised if the church really does want to, frankly, move into a highly defensive Lager mentality and ignore the profound concern of the community at large.
It's also of the belief that while the restoration work can begin almost immediately, it won't be as easy for the church to demolish the cathedral. After all, it's a Category 1 heritage building, and it won't be an overnight process.
You have to go through, of course, the archaeological consent process. You have to go through the historic places consent process, as I mentioned.
With no side to this battle willing to give in, it looks likely the debate to save or demolish the Christchurch Cathedral will continue to rage on, and this cathedral may well stay sitting empty for years to come. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Now it's important to note that survey was conducted using telephone landlines. And the Anglican Diocese won't comment though. They say the survey didn't address costs, safety or even engineering realities. They say they've already surveyed thousands of people from around the country and other parts of the world on the issue. But what do you say? Our reporters hit the streets of Christchurch.
Over the past 3 years, CTV News has surveyed scores of people to find out their position on what should happen to the Christchurch Cathedral. It's a landmark building, and thousands of people visited it every year when it was opened before the earthquakes. To this day, it's still a tourist attraction, a symbol of the destruction of the earthquakes. So what do Cantabrians think? Do they want to save it, or are they over the entire debate?
I've said this before, I think they should definitely be pulled down, really.
I was actually married in it, so we're about the 54th wedding, I think, there, and so I'm a bit nostalgic, probably.
Move on, yeah, it's been going on for far too long now.
Some people do still want to save the historic building.
It's an identity of Christchurch and everybody comes to see the cathedral.
I'd love to see it rebuilt, but it depends what's best for Christchurch, I guess.
I have fond memories of the cathedral, and so it would be good if a portion of it could be saved.
So I think that they should try and keep as much heritage as they can.
Others want the Anglican Diocese of Christchurch to start fresh and build something new.
They build their own building and with a style that the church chooses.
Start off fresh, put something new up and go on, yeah.
The Anglican Diocese owns the site, and the courts have ruled that any structure built there has to be a cathedral. However, just how that cathedral looks is entirely their decision. They've fobbed off the latest survey and seem to be pursuing the agenda to deconstruct the current cathedral and build a new design on the site. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Well, now children are asking the hard questions about the future of Christchurch in a new documentary called High Vis. The documentaries are being produced to communicate positive stories emerging as part of the Christchurch rebuild and to inform kids about the rebuild. The Sarah-produced series will be distributed at schools and teachers and will screen right here on CTV next month. Sarah says it cost $70,000 to produce. Well, thousands of New Zealanders jump on the Halloween bandwagon, don't they? But is this something we should leave to the Americans? And is it safe for our kids to be out on the streets, trick or treating?
More than likely, actually, because I'm pretty sure he'll be quite excited to do it. So yeah. Don't know what time really, but when he gets dark, we'll go out and take him out.
It's there's a lot of American rubbish that I certainly never knew about it when I was a child, apart from American comics. So.
I don't think it has any significance. It's more of an American thing, and so if you want to dress up and have a party as a reason for it, sure, why not? But I don't know, I don't see many kids out there anymore.
We're not American, it's an American idea, isn't it?
Oh, it's pretty sweet, you know, get to dress up. It's quite cultural. Yeah.
I can each to their own, you know.
Yeah, each to their own. Like, if you want to celebrate it, you can celebrate it. If you don't, yeah.
Should still put more effort into it, and they shouldn't like shun it. I think that it's okay if people want to get involved with it, and you know, people can do what they want and have a good time.
And what about trick-or-treating? Do you think it's safe for children to be out?
As long as they've got like adult supervision, it's fine, or someone older.
By themselves when they're pretty young, not really, to be honest. When they're a bit older, it's not too bad, you know, maybe when about 15 or something like that, it's not too bad. But yeah, it's a bit unsafe, I reckon.
No, not really. I think it's definitely with some adult supervision.
No, I wouldn't go out trick-or-treating.
If I had kids, I'd go with them.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon that's cool when parents go with their kids trick-or-treating.
If they're supervised to a certain respect, maybe, you know, at the, you know, an age of like 13, they could probably go out by themselves and do it.
It's been 2 years since wildfires ripped through more than 5,000 hectares in the Selwyn district, and should that happen again, the Rural Fire Service will this time be well prepared. The newest and largest addition to the local Rural Fire Service is this water tanker fleet, a 13,000 litre capacity water tanker which joins a fleet of already 19 vehicles. It includes 9 other water tankers across the district. The former milk tanker was redesigned for the Rural Firefighting Service and includes 2 purpose-built water tanks, added space for equipment storage and high-volume pumping units on the back of trucks which allow firefighters to run hoses over large distances. The $140,000 tanker will hopefully prevent any serious fires this summer, they say, hoping. Well, coming up, the power of social media again helps police in another local investigation.
Come on down to Ferrymead Golf. Care for a game of paintball? How about some swings on the old driving range? Or on our par 3 9-hole golf course? Test your skills on the mini golf course or have a go at the airgun shooting range. Then relax at the Wow Cafe with one of our super succulent Wow Burgers. Whether you want to perfect your swing or are looking for a fun family day out, come down to Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
Just 7 minutes north of Christchurch, Silverstream is a unique residential community carefully planned and developed within a rich natural environment. A family home or terraced villas, Silverstream offers a wide range of living options for every stage of life. The show homes are open. You can select your section, design your home and choose your builder. Purchase a house and land package or the terraced villa for streamside living. Silverstream, a community for everyone. It's closer than you think.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood. We're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood. What drives you?
Welcome back to CTV News. Well, it's probably a question you ask yourself every time you drive past it. What to do with the red zone? Well, a Christchurch community group by the name of Eastern Vision has spent months canvassing the public for ideas, and they've just released some of them. Emma Cropper has the details.
A clean, green, environmental playground could be the future of East Christchurch's red zone land. In a $35,000 community consultation scheme, the Eastern Vision Group canvassed local residents online about what to do with the Crown-owned land. The Eastern Vision is a group of community leaders, including former councillor Peter Beck and community activist Evan Smith. They're dedicated to promoting a strong voice for the recovery of the East. The group scanned the public over several weeks through an online forum to find the most popular proposals. A cycle and walkway connecting Eastern Christchurch with the city is at the top of a community wish list. It would connect the east to the CBD and Western Christchurch, where cyclists and walkers would follow the lower Avon corridor. The group collected feedback on 44 projects. The most unpopular was the bluing of the red zone, which would turn the land into a giant lake. Also, turning the land back into residential area was unpopular. More than 700 people provided feedback for at least one project listed on the survey.
A young man thought to be linked to two separate fires at a Rolleston skate park has come forward to police. This image was released to media and the public this afternoon. Now, CTV News understands he came forward after his friends spotted him on, you guessed it, Facebook. Well, if you're keen to see what nature has to offer you and your stomach, then the Edible Garden Expo is on tomorrow, and it could be just your ticket. It's all about encouraging the public to get out and plant fruit and nut trees across the city as we rebuild. The expo is part of the council's food resilience policy and is on tomorrow at the Botanical Gardens from 10:30. Well, still to come, if you're thinking about asking that big question, we'll show you a very novel way of saying or asking, will you marry me?
Are you having trouble with your old mower or just have too much grass? At Mead Mowers and Chainsaws, with our wide range of Husqvarna mowers, no job is too big or too small. We stock rotary, ride-on, zero turn, out front articulated riders and robotic auto mowers. We have the Husqvarna mower for you. Call in and visit Gavin or Peter at Mead Mowers and Chainsaws.
Located at the foot of the Port Hills, Berrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make a dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Berrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Berrymead Golf, 50 Berrymead Park Drive, right next to the Berrymead Heritage Park.
The world really is your oyster with Farm to Farm tours. Discover some of the world's best farming, scenery and cultural experiences. We work closely with trusted international colleagues in more than 30 countries to customise great trips for people just like you. For a hassle-free trip, call the friendly team at Farm to Farm Tours now or visit our website.
The Christchurch Tram has become the latest local attraction to be inundated with a flash mob of dancers. Take a look at this. A young couple, with the help of their friends, got engaged in front of riders by, thankfully, saying, "I do. Will you marry me?"
How many girls in the world can make me feel like this? Maybe I don't never plan to find out. The more I look, the more I find the reasons why you're the love of my life. When I get my mind, I'll do everything and show you all the finer things in life. One day I won't be able to ask you loud enough. I'll say, will you marry me? I swear that I will mean it. I say, will you
All right, back to the news now. Redbus is hailing a trial service between Oxford and Christchurch a success.
All aboard for Oxford. Redbus started the once-a-day bus trip trial 2 weeks ago and has received strong support from the community. So much support that the bus company has announced the route will become permanent. Each bus trip takes on average 1 hour and 20 minutes. The Oxford service departs from outside the Oxford Service Centre at 7 a.m, with stops in Cust, Swannanoa, Mandeville and Northlands Mall arriving at Central Station at 8:20. The return service departs from outside the Central Station on Chum Street at 5:30 p.m. Alternative stops between these points can be made and passengers are encouraged to wave down the driver as the bus approaches.
There we go, some good news. Here's Gordon Finlater with a preview of your weekend sport.
It's all go for motorsport this weekend, with the South Island Targa finishing up in Queenstown tomorrow, while closer to home, Mike Pero Motorsport Park Ruapuna plays host to an annual favourite. The Formula Atlantics will feature once more for this weekend's Wigram Revival meeting. Strong fields are expected in the historic touring cars and the mainland muscle cars, which are always a crowd favourite. Qualifying sessions start from 9:30 tomorrow, with racing continuing through until 5 o'clock on Sunday. Canterbury United get their National Football League season underway tomorrow after a checkered pre-season build-up. The Dragons will be looking to get their season off to the perfect start when they take on Waikato Bay of Plenty at English Park. The match will be the first competitive game in charge for new boss Sean Devine. One new face sure to keep your eyes on will be youngster Rossi Nkoi, who previously worked under Devine at Northern Premier League club Monorewa. Nkoi, who most recently played under former all-white assistant Neil Emblin at Western Springs, is described as having lightning pace and agility. Coach Sean Devine believes these attributes will suit the style of football the team is looking to play. Canterbury United's ASB Premiership match gets underway tomorrow at 2 p.m. Canterbury were punished by Wellington in their first 4-day Plunket Shield match at Hagley Oval earlier this week. Canterbury's decision to declare and set Wellington a total of 307 backfired as the visitors smashed over 200 in the final 30 overs to get the win. Canterbury will now turn their attention to the weekend's 2020 Georgie Pie Super Smash. A number of Cantabs will be on show in tonight's North vs South match in Hamilton, before the new-look Canterbury Kings get their 2020 campaign underway on Sunday, taking on the Central Stags. And finally tonight to racing, where co-trainers Mark Purdon and Natalie Rasmussen officially pulled Smolder out of the nominations yesterday for the New Zealand Trotting Cup. The 6-year-old has struggled with a bacterial infection, and after a blood analysis yesterday, improvements had been found, but they were not significant enough to be in cup contention. Smolder is the son of Courage of Fire and has won 15 races from just 27 starts. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Finlater for CTV Sport.
Thanks, Gordon. Now time for the region's weather.
Looking first at Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, 15 degrees today. Methven slightly warmer on 16, while Ashburton and Rakaya hit 15 degrees. Darfield 16, Leiston and Rolleston, a warm day for you, hitting 17. Looking now at Lincoln and Christchurch, hope you got out and enjoyed the sunshine, you hit 17 today. Over in Akaroa, a warm day for you as well, reaching a high of 17. Heading north, Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley slightly warmer than the other places, hitting 18. Culverden and Hanna Springs 18 degrees, also Cheviot there on 18. And at the very top in Kaikoura, they took out the region's high on 19. But what about tomorrow? In Timaru, a fine Saturday ahead with northeasterly winds tending northwesterly by evening and high cloud increasing. 5 degrees overnight with a high of 20 throughout the day. Ashburton, fine and mild with some high cloud later on. Expect northeasterly winds at first and northwesterlies later on. 5 degrees overnight, 21 throughout your day. In Christchurch, fine and mild with northeasterlies, but gusty northwesterly winds may develop during the evening. Tonight's low 5 degrees, tomorrow's high 19. At the top in Kaikoura, sunshine and northeasterly winds for your Saturday. 5 degrees overnight, 19 throughout your day.
Still I call it magic. You're such a precious jewel.
And in other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine expect the region's high of 21. Methven and Rakaia fine for most parts of the day with a high of 19 and 20. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, fine weather all day, hitting a high of 19 degrees. Looking at Lincoln, expect a high of 19 and low of 5. Over in Akaroa, fine weather in the morning, reaching 19 throughout your day. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, fine weather, hitting a high of 20 degrees. At the top in Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot, expect the region's high on 21. Looking ahead for what's in store for the rest of Canterbury. Thick high cloud on Sunday with warm temperatures and strong gusty northwesterly winds, possibly near gale force during the afternoon. Still fine and mild on Monday with sunny periods and high cloud and fresh gusty northwesterlies expected. Cloudy and cold on Tuesday and Wednesday with showers and moderate southerly winds. Cloud clearing and sunny periods increasing later on Thursday with cool southerlies dying out. And that is all for your region's weather this evening. Have a safe weekend.
So at least the weather for tomorrow looking quite nice. To go down and say hello to Ice Cream Charlie, who returns back to Victoria Square the first time since the earthquakes. You take it easy. We'll catch you back Monday.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.